you how to build a Google site. This is all the basics that you'll need. And of course, you can investigate some more advanced options on your own once you know all of this. So the first thing that you need to do is have a email address with Google. And in that email address, you will be able to find a block of icons next to your initial and open that up and find sites. You can also just type in Google Sites and it'll take you there. Just make sure you're in the right email account to house your website. Any websites that you've already made will be here, but you can also just click on this plus to start a new site. So the default setting for this site is going to look like this no matter when you do it. And you can change it by changing the themes, the content, the layout, etc. So I'm going to go back to our list here and say we've created a new site. And the next thing we're going to do is choose a theme. So going back here, upper right-hand corner, there are some simple preset themes here that have different font preferences and different color preferences. The layout is still very changeable by you, but this sets sort of the tone for the visuals. So usually I just start with simple and alter it from there. But if I want to create my own theme by using my own font and my own color range and my own background image, I can click on create theme. And so I'm just going to call that test. I can add a logo if I have it. I can add a banner image. Banner image is what's going on in the background here. So the banner image I'm going to pull up is going to look like a pattern instead of that abstract image. And then I'm going to hit next. And then I'm going to change to some custom colorways. I'll go with that. And this is going to color all of the content, such as fonts and background on the page. And then the fonts that I'm going to use are from the list here. So I'm going to use the Roboto and Roboto Light and create the theme. So as you can see, the background pattern that I pulled up is there, but it has taken on the color of the theme that I selected. So if you don't want to use that anymore, you can just go back to the presets, but your custom theme will be in there if you ever want to change to that. So we have different types of headers and covers. Currently we have this header type, which is just a banner across the top, but you can change the header type to a larger banner, a cover, or just use the title only. So I'm going to start with a regular banner. In order to change what's going on in the background, I would click on image and then upload an image. Now I've made an image for this banner, so I have a horizontal image that I want to fit right into there, and it looks pretty good. It is grayed out a bit and it is cut off a bit. So to fix that, I would click on the readability adjustment and remove it. And I would also change from this type of banner to a larger version that'll accommodate the whole image. If I switch to cover right now, it's going to blow up the entire image and cut it off. So you really want to develop artwork that suits the type of heading or banner that you want. After doing that, let's say we were types of headers and covers. We're going to talk about how to work with the text. So with the text, you have a text box that's automatically sitting on top. You can change the content. Let's call this guy sleeping. You can change the style of the font and you can change the scale of it. All sorts of options there for like word processing. And you can also move it around to some degree. So I'm going to change the size of the text box so it's a little bit narrower. And then I'm going to try to move it to a few different places. And you'll notice I can't move it up and down, but I can move it side to side. And there's a limited distance that I can go side to side because of the guides that it is putting in there. So if I want to have full control over the text and placement, I can leave the banner here and then add in the upper right hand corner a text box, and it'll come in below, and I can put it here. Again, I can change the size of it, I can change the font, I can change the color, and I can bring it over. And again, I might not have total control over where it's placing, but I do have some control over where it's placing. Okay. If you want total control, you should edit your text into your banner image. So for the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the header type to a cover. I'm going to upload an image that I had already created, and it is some people standing up. So again, I have this image, large header type, take the readability adjustment off, and if I tried to put text in here, I would be limited to where I put it. So instead of having an image with no text, I'm going to upload an image I created in Photoshop that already has the text in it. And this is going to allow me to have total control over placement. You can see that makes quite a difference. So we're going back to this, working with text. And the last thing that I'm going to show you how to do is add a footer. So a lot of websites will have the same information at the bottom. For instance, it might have your name, might have your address, whether it's a Gmail address, a physical address, an office address, and it might have place for social links. So you might have social media down here or other logos. So if I want to put social media here, instead of writing social media, obviously, I would click on social links and put a link that will show the, in this case, the Instagram logo. So that's how you would work with a footer. And then every time I make a new page, that same footer would appear on it, and I can change the other content. So next, we're going to talk about adding content. When you're working with Google Sites, you can choose two directions or combine the two. The default right now is that every time I add content, it'll come in underneath my cover page, so it'll be scrolling down to find things. But you can also add pages if you want to just keep it more organized. So first I'm going to show you how to add content on the scrolling option. So I'm going to insert either content through these four options or through content blocks. So the first thing I'm going to do is insert content manually, and let's see, maybe I'll have an illustration of some people. So what that did is it added it beneath. So I'll have my content here and I can resize it. I can also add a text box underneath and talk about these are people in different clothes. I can center that text. I can scale that text, change the content, color, etc. So that's me adding it manually to the bottom, and so I would see this when I open the website, and then I can just scroll down to see more, and it can go on and on and on. If you'd like to change it so that you're actually flipping from page to page, I'm going to delete this content, and I'm going to delete the text too. I'm going to do something called adding a new page. So adding a new page, I would go to the Pages tab, hit plus on New Page, and people wearing clothes will be the name of this page. And it's going to take my cover image with it. So if I want to get rid of that, I would just change the header type to title only. And now I can add content to the people wearing clothes page. So back to insert, and I'm going to this time show you how to insert content with a content block. So it's either manually or with a content block. So in this one, I'm going to put content block of 3, and I'm going to upload 3 different people. So instead of using that one long file, I'm going to use these 3 individual files, and then I can describe each one separately underneath. So for this one, we're going to call this the overcoat, and then this one we're going to call the plaid coat, and then this one we're going to call the sweater. Now for each one of those content blocks, I automatically got text with it because it was showing me that option over here, and I can edit the text here by either typing something in or entirely removing that text box. But because it's here, I'm going to type in overcoat, nice tan overcoat, love it. Okay, and I do love it. I'm going to come over here and say, wow, a big plaid. And then here I will do geometric sweater, geometric pattern. Okay, so in each one of those cases I can change how the text is reading. I won't go through those options again. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to create collapsible content. So this is going to be a collapsible group where I might want to give my artist statement, or, well, it's not spelled right, but, or other title. And instead of having a block of text here, I want to have text that only appears when I click on it. so it's called collapsible. So the artist statement here might be, we'll just have to pretend here, a lot more text than I would want to show on my front page. So I just show the title, and then I can click on this and the content will appear. And you can see I have an option to make it collapsible or not collapsible. So that is on page number 2, called People Wearing Clothes. I'm going to go back to this just to make sure. So I showed you how to add content manually with content blocks. Now I'm going to show you how to embed links. So there's 2 different ways to embed links. I'm going to add content for that right now by going to an image and uploading a click here button. So this click here button is right here. And I just made, oh, that's in the content box by accident. I'll pull it out of there. You know, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to get rid of that and just make sure it uploads to the right place. So I have this click here box, and currently if I were to click on it, nothing would happen. But if I click on it to set up a link, you see that a link appears here. Now, where do I want it to go? I actually want it to go to another page on this website. So now I have to go and build that page. So I'm going to add a page, and I'm going to call it Yay. And I'm going to go to the 3 little dots to the right of it and say hide it from navigation. So I don't want anybody to know it's there. I just want it to appear when you click on that button. So I'm going to go to People Wearing Clothes. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to the link, and it's going to give me the options that are already on the site. I can also put a URL in here if I want to go to an external place, but first I'll show you how this looks. So it is actually going to take me to that hidden page when I click on it. If I want to go to content outside, I'm going to upload the same click here button. Okay, and you probably wouldn't design it so that they're the same thing, but here we have a link, and I'm going to place it here. So when I click on the right hand one, whoops, when I click on the right hand one, something a little sticky is happening. There we go. It is going to take me out to that Instagram site. I'm not sure why that didn't work the first time, but try again. So how do I activate these links? You can't really do it while you're building the site. You have to publish the site and then preview it. So I'm going to publish the site up here. I'm going to call it test site. You'll notice that the upper left-hand corner, it's still untitled, but when I publish it here, it should have test me out as the URL name. And I can also title the site here, test me out, if I want that consistency. So once I've published it, I can preview it. So previewing it is going to the little icon that shows the computer and the tablet. So on the left-hand side, if I click here, it's taking me to the Yay page. And if I go back, the right-hand side should take me to the Instagram page, okay? So that Yay page currently doesn't have any content on it, but I can always go and add content that I want to that page, even though it's hidden from navigation. So I'm gonna insert an image, I'm gonna upload it. The image is going to say Yay. I'm gonna make it really big because I feel very excited about it. And the next thing I'm gonna do is actually get rid of the title because that's redundant. I just want the page to say Yay. Publish it again, publish it, shows me the before, preview it. I'm gonna go to the home page. I'm gonna go to the People Wearing Clothes. I'm gonna click here. It's taking me to an internal page. I can back up. I can click here, and it's gonna take me to the Instagram page. All right, so we are going next to, well, I have one more thing to show you about embedding links, so I'll show you that really quickly. I'm gonna go to People Wearing Clothes. I'm going to back up until I'm at the editor again. So People Wearing Clothes, and insert, and I can say embed link. So let's say I don't want to do the tricky click through, I just want to embed a link, and that link might be something like the Instagram link. So I can paste it here and insert it, and then it will show me the link on the page instead of making me click through to it. So again, if I publish it, and then I can preview it, I can see that the content is down there. And I think you can get rid of the text. I just moved through that pretty quickly. Okay, going back to our list, embedding the link, using the drive. I'm actually going to use the drive down here when I add video, so I'm going to come back to that, or rather move it so that we have it down here, and move on to placeholders and spacers. So to do placeholders and spacers, I'm actually going to start a new page that I just call spacing layouts. So, or payouts, we'll leave that, that's funny. So I'm going to insert some content. So a placeholder for future content, because I just want to see what I can do on this page. So each one automatically goes underneath. And what I want to do is make a checkerboard of a layout. So this layout has 5 different possible places to put images, and then it's happening in a grid. I can also put text boxes in here if I want to say, you know what, I want actually to go image, text, copy this, move it into position, copy this, so to make sure you hang on to it at the right spot and move it into position. And then the last one will be right here, into position. So now I have this thing set up for whatever content I decide to put in there. I can also play with something called spacers. Now a spacer allows me to create dead space between content, and that's really helpful for if I don't want to get things a little too crowded. So I just added another one here, and I might have to actually add it manually. Spacer here. I find the spacer a little bit hard to grab the handle of, but this would allow me to create an entire layout before I actually upload the content. So going back, I think we already added pages, so I can cross that off the list, and we added subpages. We added links to internal or external places, and we did collapsible content. So all I have left here is adding video or animation. So I'm going to go back, make a new page. This page is going to be called Moving Images. And on this one, I'm going to insert some content by manually inserting it. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on an image and upload these animations that I've already prepared. This is an animation of a person walking. It's on a white ground, so it's going to look like it's just in this field of the background. The next thing I'm going to upload is an animation of a person walking with like a box around them with illustration. So both of them work in the same way. And then the next one I'm going to do is going to be through the YouTube option. So I'm going to click on YouTube, and I happen to have this already loaded, but you can just use any YouTube URL and place it in here. So this is content that I made, and I can resize it. I can crop off that excess there. I can also add content. Let me see if I can find something on YouTube, some random thing. Person walking. Let's see what we have there. And then I would just place it here. It finds the video. You can click on that there and insert it. So a lot of ways to add content. I don't have to just have video here. I can also add other types of content, like a group of images at the bottom, or I can put a button in. I can say, click here for more people walking. And then I'm going to do a different video of people walking. I'm not going to have those people walking. How about this guy? Just, definitely, you could just put any link in there, and that would take me to an external page. You can see why the difference between click here with a logo and click here with the text is that you can design the logo. So now I'm going to go ahead and publish a site, publish again. I'm going to preview it. I'm going to go home, people wearing clothes, we have moving images, and we have spacing payouts. This was my grid that I set up but didn't put any content in. The last thing I want to show you is how to create a sub page. So currently I have all these different pages, but depending on how much content I want to put in the site, it could get really crowded up here along the top. So I'm going to actually show you on the pages option how to create sub pages. So what if I want to have people wearing clothes as the main page, but I want the moving images to be nested within it and the spacing page to be left nested within that? It changes the navigation so that you can see all of your options, but they're not taking up all the space at the top. And this is really good for categories when you're putting your work together. All right, let me check my document. Looks like I am done there. The one thing that I did not talk about really is using the drive. So you can go ahead and upload content from your desktop, but it makes a lot more sense to add it from your drive because your drive is not going to crash out and be destroyed. So it's safer to put content into your drive, and it's easy to work with this, as you can imagine, just like any drive you'd work with. So let's say I have nothing in there. Well, anyway, you understand how to work with that drive. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I'm just going to look through the list really quickly. Oh, image carousel will be the last one. So in the image carousel, we actually can put, I have these swatches here. We can put multiple images in, and when we publish it, and preview it, you'll notice that I can just scroll through instead of having it take up a lot of space. So if I just want to see these swatches, I can scroll through them. I think that covers everything on the tutorial.